So good morning all of you. Today we are going to discuss about overloading methods and overloading of constructors. So what is meant by overloading methods is in Java it is possible to define two or more methods with the same. Normally we already seen in the previous classes that a class can have more number of methods. It's normal way we can see C or any programming language we write many methods. It's normal way. But here we have many methods, but they are having the name is same. The name of the method is same. So that is called as. So whenever within a single class, if we have the different methods with the same name, that we are going to call it as the overloading of methods. So basically, by using this method overloading concept, we are going to achieve polymorphism. So the polymorphism is achieved in Java programming language by using the concept called as the method overloading. So see here, simple example. Here I have a function, my function. Here also I have a function, my function. The return type is also void. But what is the overloading here is, here we have the no parameter, but here I have one parameter, that is int a. So the compiler differentiate that, okay, this is the method without parameter and this is the same method with a different method. So it will treat as a different method, not as the same method. Here also see one more method in the same class we written my function float a. So here we have one parameter, here also one parameter. But what is the thing is here the parameter is float, the type. So as simply what we can tell is, what is method overloading is, the method names are same, the method names are changed by having different parameters, the type of the parameters, or by having the number of parameters. See here I have int a and here I have int a comma float b, like that, by having the number of different parameters and their type, and by having the return type also, by having the different return type also, we can. So see here, up to here I have only void. Now I have here float by changing return type. So by changing return type, by changing the number of parameters and the type, we can have different methods. This is nothing but the method overloading. So we will see that what are the invalid cases of how we cannot write. So let us see the how we cannot write the method overloading. So here we have written sum of and we have written another method sum of. Both within the same class, if you write the same method name is same, but there is no difference. So we cannot write like this. Both methods are empty here. And here, see here, we have written sum one of int comma int. But here again written sum one of int. So there is no difference. Both are the same methods. Here also see this. Here I have the int and string here also. So we can have the same method name, but the parameter should be changed. So these are all the invalid cases how we cannot write method names for method over achieving method over. So let us see the valid cases. See here. You have sum3 method we have in the two integers, and I have here sum3 method having one integer parameter and second parameter is the float. So this is the different data type is there, that's why it is allowed. And see the second case, you have this method name is sum4, the method is accepting two floating point parameters. Here also it is taking three floating point parameters, it is also accepted. So here it is taking only two parameters. So in terms of the number of parameters it is changed. And next one, here I have a sum5 method. Here it is receiving integer and string, and here it is so the order of the also change. So when the order of the parameters are changed, then automatically it is a different method. And here I have sum6 method, it is taking name no parameter, but here I have sum6 method taking the integer. So this is how we can achieve the method overloading in the Java programming. So simply what is method overloading is, within a single class we have the methods with the same name and they have the different parameters. So n number of methods having the same name having different parameters. So this is how we're going to achieve method overloading. Method overloading is the one of the way to achieve polymorphism. What is polymorphism? One in the many forms. Here having the same name and different methods are there. So it's called as achieve the polymorphism. So you may have doubt that, so whether by just change the return type can we achieve the method overloading? No, it is not possible. It will throw a compilation error. Let us see the example. So here I have the method, my method. Here I have the method, my method, which is accepting the same number of same parameters. Here I have the integer, here also I have an integer, here integer. So both the parameters are same, method name is same, and you may think that by just changing return type, for example, here my method returning the integer, here my method returning the double. By just change return type, can we achieve the method overloading? No, method overloading is not possible by just change return type. Method overloading is achieved only by the number of parameters and type of the parameters only, not with respect to the by which. If your method name is same and your parameters type and number of parameters same, then by just change return type we cannot achieve the method overloading. Is very important thing you need to notice. So let us try one program for this particular method overloading. Then you can understand how to write a simple Java program for method overloading. So I have written a class method over, and we'll write another class test. So now here we have one method void my test is the empty method. If you call this method, it is going to print out some and now let us simply override what is method overloading. Here what I am doing is same method, here I am accepting a integer, so int a. So if we call this method, it is going to print this message overload with int, and again we will write another method. Here it is going to accept two integers. So what we are doing is we are maintaining the same method name, and by just changing here the method is not accepting any parameter. Here it is accepting single integer, it is a two integer. So that's why the compiler will treat as a different methods, not as a single method. So okay, like this we have written a one simple class called as test. Now let us create an object for that particular test class, and we call the methods test t is equal to new test of, and with the help of that we call the my test. So which method is called? The method without the parameter. Next we're going to call t my test by passing one. Now which one is called? The first method with the single integer. Next t dot my test we pass 10 comma 20. So now let us execute this program. So before that we need to save this. So we already discussed that within a single program here I have two classes. Which program name you want to save is the class which is having the main method. With that we need to save. So now I compile this program. So successfully compiled. Now if I execute this, so for the first empty method is printing the high, and for the second method it is printing overload with int a, that is 10 is printed, and for second method call with it passing two parameters it is x. So this is how the method overloading is achieved. Now we try to commit some mistakes, try to understand what kind of error the compiler is going to generate. Let us see. T my test of, now we'll pass 10.2. See, let us see what the compiler will do, whether it is accept or it is not. Why? Because we don't have any method without the having the only accepting float. We have only the methods with accepting single integer only. So let us see what the compiler. Now if you compile the program, see the compiler what the error is generated. Incompatible types, possibly loss of conversion from double to the int. Why? Because here whenever we in the data types itself, type conversion I told, whenever you doesn't mention the type, the default type it is going to take is the double. So that's why what the error is generating is I cannot convert double to integer. Why? Because I have the single method which is have the my test method taking only integer, but here I'm passing single double, so it is not at all possible. So for example, let us write the code for that also. Now void test of double a, and let us print that double a. Now see whether the same error is generated or not. So now the program is successfully compiled. Why? Because for this particular method called my test of 10.2, I have a method my test double, it is accepted. That's why the compiler is not generated any kind of error. Now if we execute, we got the output. Now I want to explain one more topic here, that is automatic type conversion is possible in Java programming language. So how this automatic type in method overloading automatic type conversion is possible or not. So I will show that also. Now what we simply do is let us remove this particular void my test int a. Now what we're doing is, so here what the program is now, I have a empty method, I have a method with two integers, and I have a method with single double value. But here what are the calls I have for the empty method? Two integers and double, but I have one more thing is also left, that is single integer method call is also there. But I removed that particular function from this particular program. But how the program is going to do, so let us see. So program is successful combo. Why? Previously, I with have passing the double value, it is showing the error without having the double method. If I pass the double value, then the error is generated. But here, now, when I just remove that particular single integer method, and by calling with the single, passing the single integer, there is no error generated by the compiler. Why? Because let us see the output, then you can understand who is handled it. Then you can understand. See, the double method is called two times. Why? Because here t dot my test 10 is an integer, is accepted by the function called my test of double a. Why? Because I told that we have a conversion is there, widening conversion is there. So whenever we can automatically, the integer can be converted to double. A double cannot be directly converted to integer, but an integer can be converted low. So lower to higher can be automatically done. That's why here the integer is automatically promoted to the double. That is the reason why without having a single integer method call function also, our method single integer method call is accepted by the double method. So that is the reason the program is successfully executed. So what we need to understand here is, mean method overloading automatic type conversion is possible. Automatic type conversion is possible. So let us see the next topic. So this is a program we already explained now. So automatic type conversion is also possible. That is also just we now discussed. Now next topic we are going to discuss with respect to overloading is overloading of constructors. What is overloading of constructors? Let us try to understand. So already we know that what is a constructor. What is a constructor? Constructor is nothing but the method which is having the name of the class. It is called as a constructor. So now in terms of constructors also we try to perform overloading. Now I have a class student. Now I have a class student and he is having three parameters: int age, int gender, int grade. So now what we can do is, now we have one constructor which is accepting only int age only. Now what we do, age is equal to a. Next we have one more thing, student int, sorry, here I forgot to change the data. Gender is a string and grade is also string. Now it will accept age and I need a gender also G. Now this particular constructor, so see this here, this is one constructor accepting only one integer. This is another constructor is accepting integer and string. So what is constructor overloading is the same constructors, by changing the number of parameters and type of parameters, we have different constructors. This is called as the constructor overloading. Let us see. Now for age A I assigned and for gender I assigned G. Now it is accepts only the one integer value and one string. And next we need another, I'm writing another constructor. Now it is going to accept different constructor. It is accept integer and it is going to accept two strings, string G and string grade also. So for that we need with G1, no problem. So it is saying age equal to A, gender is equal to G, and next one is grade is equal to G1. Now we try to write one method void print data. For printing is all details. System.out.println age is age and gender next grade. Now what is left is we have created three constructors with the same name and a different, but this is nothing but the constructor overloading. Now let us execute this program by passing some data. So first of all what we need to do is, for this particular class student class, we need to create a object student s1 is equal to new student, and now here it does only pass age 23 with respect to s1. Now the same class, same student s2, the second person. For the second person I have the data of age and also I have the data of his gender, male. And for third person I have three variable information is available. Student S3 is I know his age, I know his gender, I know his grade also, A grade. So now let us change the some values. Now what is happens while this object student s1 object is created automatically we have discussed the constructor is called. Which constructor is called here? How many parameters I am passing? One parameter. That's why the single parameter constructor is going to be executed. For the second call, the second parameter which is taking the integer and string, that is going to accepted. And for third one, what is going to happen by passing the third cursor? So it is going to accept the data. So let us see. Now what we need to do is with respect to s1 we need to print the data. What is the data which is available, and like that with respect to all the objects we need to print. Now let us compile the program. Showing one error. So oh, mistakenly I put a semicolon here. Now let us compile this. Now try to execute this program. See what is happened. So program is actually executed. First is showing age is 23, and after that it is showing the grade is null, and also gender is also null. Why? Because with respect to s1 I stored s1 with respect to s1 object I passed only single integer. That's why the remaining two variables are made empty. That's why it is printing their default assets. See the second one here, it is showing age is 22 and gender is male and grade is null. Why? Because with respect to s2 object we passed only 22 and male only. Remaining fields were not, remaining parameter I'm not sent. That's why the second constructor is executed and it is assigned only age and gender only. That's why the remaining grade is become null. And after that for the third s3 object I pass three parameters. The last constructor, this constructor is going to execute which take integer and two strings and assign the data, and with the help of the print data I got the three data 24 and male and a. So this is how we can make a program to constructor overloading. Simply what is constructor overloading is the same constructor name, by changing the number of parameters and type of the parameters we can have the different constructors. This is nothing but called a constructor overloading. So by this our topic is completed. So today what we have been discussed is what is meant by constructor and what is meant by overloading methods, and how we can write the invalid cases and valid cases. And after that we discuss whether written type is different, having written different written type we have the constructors are can be written. No, it is not possible. So these are the topics we have been discussed. Thank you very much.